first day of summer. I'm so excited and so happy. And last night we actually went out to dinner to celebrate the end of the school year, and we went to kind of a nicer restaurant. And I was just playing around with my makeup a little bit to, I don't know, kind of emphasize my eyes a little bit more. I just wanted to have some fun with my makeup after just doing like a regular school day routine with really toned down shadows and stuff like that for the whole year. I just wanted to play with it a little bit. And this is the look that I came up with last night, and I really liked it, and I felt like it was really wearable but fun at the same time and a little bit more dramatic than I would usually wear to school. So I wanted to do a video explaining how I got to this look because I really liked it, and I think that it would be perfect for any kind of summer party you might have, like a barbecue or like going out to dinner or whatever. It's just kind of a step up from what you would usually wear during the school year. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get started. So I'm starting off with everything already done on my face from my everyday foundation routine video, which I will link right here and also down below. So I have my foundation, my concealer, my bronzer, which is the NARS Laguna bronzer, and my blush, which is actually different from what I used in that video. I used the NARS Orgasm blush, which is a kind of golden pink color right here. This is the Laguna bronzer. And I also have some powder, the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. So if you're interested in seeing what shade I am in those products and how I applied them, you can go ahead and watch that video. And I also have my Urban Decay Primer Potion on my lids already to prime them for eyeshadow. So I'm going to start off my eyeshadow with the Urban Decay Naked palette. This is one of my favorite palettes that I own. And the first color I'm going to take is Virgin, which is just a really, really light, shimmery, almost white color, and I've used this before in tutorials and I really like it for inner highlights especially. And I'm taking it on this flat shader brush that actually came with this palette from Urban Decay, and what I'm going to do is just pat it around my inner corners, not like just on the top, like literally all around. So yeah, I'm just going to sort of pat it into place. Adding a really light inner corner highlight really wakes up your eyes and makes them look more open and just awake in general. I really like adding a much lighter color on the inside here like this. And because we're using kind of a more champagne-y colored inner highlight color instead of just like a pure white, it looks a lot more natural, especially because we're going to blend it into kind of a darker smokiness effect thing. Okay, so the next shadow that I'm going to take is my Urban Decay color Sin, which is the next color in on the palette, and it's kind of a lighter pink. It's basically Virgin, but with a little bit more shimmer and more pinky tones, kind of more champagne too. And I'm taking it on the same brush that I used for the first color because they're just the same color. I mean, they're not the same color, but they're very similar colors. I'm not worried about mixing them too much. And I'm going to pat this in literally the next like eighth of my eye. I'm making this blend into smokiness really, really gradual. I don't want it to be super sudden. So I'm just taking this, not even all the way to the halfway mark. The next color I'm going to use is MAC's Naked Lunch, which is another very similar color. I'm just going like a shade lighter with each, or with a shade darker with each shadow. So I'm going to take this on the other side of my flat shader brush here, the one that hasn't been used with shadow already. And I'm going to take a fair amount, loading up the brush a little bit. And I'm going to take this over the halfway mark and a little bit past. Yeah, I'm just making this blend super, super gradual so it's not kind of a shocking smoky eye. And this shadow, All That Glitters, is, or not All That Glitters, I'm sorry, Naked Lunch actually has a little bit of tan tones to it, which is going to help it meld into the darker tones that we're using in a minute here. Next, I'm going to take MAC's All That Glitters shadow, which is a little bit darker again, and this is much more of a brown than the rest of them. It's a very, very light brown, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to brush off my shader brush on my hand a little bit to get some of the excess product off here. And I'm going to take this on the same side of it that I did the Naked Lunch shadow just now because they're very similar colors. And I'm going to take this all over the outer half. And we're going to go over this with darker shadow in a minute. I just don't want there to be any sort of break in the blending of the brownish, tannish colors. So that's why I'm applying this first. So as you can see, my shadow looks very light and just really natural right now. And this is the base that I want. I don't want there to be like a shock of white in here and then a shock of dark out here. I feel like that's what a lot of smoky eyes tend to look like, and I just don't like this. I wanted a much more natural, kind of summery smoky eye. So I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay Naked palette once again with the color Sidecar, which is a grayish, I don't know what to call this. I use it a lot in tutorials. It's grayish brown, very shimmery. I'll do a close-up of it so you guys can see, but it's just a very, very light, kind of shimmery, dark, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. You'll see in the close-up. But anyway, so I'm going to take this on a MAC 217 brush, which is a fluffy blending brush, and I'm taking just a little bit, not a ton, And I'm actually going to go over, starting at the kind of halfway mark of my lid, working it all the way out to the outer half. So I'm just covering like the entire outer half of my lid, but not very heavily, just lightly, because we're going to go over it again with even darker shadow. So I'm just taking this and blending it in, using kind of windshield wiper motions to blend it. Next, I'm going to use MAC's Satin Taupe shadow, which is a much darker gray shadow with a little bit of purple undertones on the opposite side of this brush, and work this in on the outer corner to give more depth and dimension to this look. Start to darken it up a little bit. So as you can see, there's a lot more depth and definition to this look now, and I'm going to take one last shadow, and this is the, from the Naked palette again, the color Hustle, which I've used this a lot in tutorials. I feel like in tutorials, whenever I use this palette, I always use Virgin, Sin, Sidecar, and Hustle, but they're my favorite colors of the whole palette, so I don't see why I wouldn't use them. And I'm going to take, actually I'm going to use a fresh brush. I'm going to use my MAC 224, I think, yeah, 224, which is a fluffy, it's not quite as fluffy as this. It's much less densely packed. It's a lot looser. But it's really good for blending out shadows, and I want this to be a really good gradual blend. So I'm going to take this on the tip of this brush, and I think I said it already, but the color is Hustle. And I'm going to put this in the very outer corner, like the farthest outer corner, and blend it inwards. Not starting here and blending it out, we're starting out and blending it back in. So that's it for the eyeshadow, and then for eyeliner, I'm going to be using my Kat Von D tattoo liner, and I actually just bought a full size of this, but this is still the sample size that I got that made me love it in the first place. So this is a pen tip liner, but it's really unique because it's hard to explain, but the actual pen tip, like it's the size, it's the shape of a pen tip, but it's made out of hair, so it is individual little brush hairs, but it's just so much easier to control than a brush. So I'm going to make a small wing on this. I'm going to start at about my halfway mark, and I'm going to build up the line really gradually and then give it a little wing at the end. So once I've gotten that wing the way that I like it, I'm going to bring the liner in a little further, just so it's not like a weird start to the line. So to blend my eyeliner in a little bit more, I'm going to line my tight line with my Stila Smudge Stick Waterproof Eyeliner in the color Damsel. This is a really, really dark brown. It's almost a black, but not quite. It looks a little bit more natural than a black. And people wince when I do this. Okay, other beauty gurus like to pull up their eyelid and then line their liner, and I just prefer to blink into my liner. And I know it looks weirder, maybe it looks weirder to some people, but honestly, when I do the pull up your lid and stuff, I end up making way more mistakes. So this is just what works for me. Whatever you want to do, go for it, but I like to line it this way, where I sort of blink into it. I know it looks painful, but it really isn't. I don't even feel it. It's just my gut reaction is to kind of blink more to get it out of my eye, but it works really well. So, yeah. Lining your tight line just helps to make sure that the liner, especially if you're doing a wing, doesn't look like it's sitting on top of your lashes at all. It just looks like it is kind of more natural. And then I'm also going to take a little bit of this on my waterline. And that's it for liner and shadow. So I'm going to finish up with my L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Mascara. I just got this, and the packaging is super cool. It looks like a telescope. You can't really tell like this, but there's like a line here and a line here. It gets a little bit wider like a telescope would, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't love this mascara. I'm still trying it out. I could love it. I don't know. I'm not decided yet. But the wand is just very, very, the bristles are very, very short, so I don't know how I feel about that. I'm used to kind of longer bristles. So anyway, I'm going to do a couple coats of this on my lashes. Obviously, where else would you put mascara? I do like how defined this makes my lashes. I feel like it really kind of draws out each individual one, but if you put on too much of it, which is really easy to do because the bristles, even though they're short, they grab a lot of product from the bottle, it does start to clump up in a not very nice way. So you just have to sort of be careful with this. I don't know. I'll talk about it more later on to see what I decided. I just decided to try a new mascara because I was out of my favorite, which is Maybelline The Falsies. And I am always disappointed when I try new mascaras, but I decided just to give it a shot because I heard a lot of people talking about this specific one, and I wanted to try it. So yeah, we're just seeing how it goes. On my bottom lashes, I'm going to use my Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara, and this is just a black, same as the Telescopic mascara. And I'm just going to apply a little bit of this on my bottom lashes. I'm going to finish up with brows. First, I'm just going to comb them through with a little spoolie brush thingy. And then I'm going to go in with my Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. This is what I always use for my brows. I want to get a pen and see how I like that. But for right now, I'm going to use the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in brunette and dark brown. And I'm going to use the darker color. I think that's the dark brown one. I'm guessing. And I'm going to take that on a little liner brush from Sephora. And just fill in my brows a little bit, just in any sparse spots I might have. Not really making them dramatically darker, just sort of filling them in a little bit. Whenever you're wearing a smoky eye, it's really important that you balance it out with your brows a little bit. You don't want to have super light brows and a super dark eye. It just looks very, very strange, and like you dyed your brows lighter, which I hope you didn't. So that is it for the eye look. I'm going to finish up this look with a little bit of light pink lipstick on. This is the YSL Rouge Volupte lipstick in number 7, and I'm just going to apply a super, super light little dabbing of this and rub it together with my lips. And that is it for this makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed this and that it was helpful to you. If you recreate this look, don't forget to either tweet a picture to me or tag me in a picture on Instagram. All my social media links will be down below so you guys can do that. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I think it'll be a really perfect look for either like a summer barbecue or any other parties you might be going to. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye!
You said we go where nobody knows. Guns hidden under our petticoats. No, we never got greedy, no, we never got greedy, no. Now run, run away from the boys in the